You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. What's happening? Happy Friday. Come on in here, guys. I'm ready for you today. I am. I'm ready. I'm fired up, too. For a Friday, I'm very fired up and kind of serious, too. Yeah. You okay with that? Because today we're going to talk about signal to noise. I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost. Oh, by the way, I should tell you, I was just talking to one of my very, very, very cool clients, and he said, why are you so damn good? So I said, I need to charge you more money. Anyway, you're going to get some of that goodness today. He said that. That is not me at all. He said that today. You're going to get some of that goodness today. I just got off the call, so I'm fired up from that conversation, and you're going to get a piece of that. Talking to signal to noise today. We'll get to that in a sec here. First off, some of my uniqueness delivered to you real time, live. I got a bone to pick. I'm going to send this off to the complaint department here in a few minutes. Hang on. I don't have to do that because I am the complaint department. You guys aren't doing your part. I am showing up kicking ass every single day, and you're just listening to me and being silent, and I do not play that game anymore. I just don't. Why am I doing this thing if you won't communicate with me, okay? Instagram, hey, Scott Smith. Send a note. Say hi. Tell me whatever's going on. Let me see pictures of your baby. By the way, baby boom coming up in November. We just had Snowmageddon. Yes, you got to look at history. It happens. Scott at dailyboostpodcast.com. If you want to hang out on Facebook, I'd welcome you there too. Just go to dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. Not trying to be rude. Serious, I could put this behind a paywall. I could do it in a second. I don't want to do that. You got to pay the price. So you got to communicate sometimes. And that means you, not somebody else, you. Okay, let's get into it. And this show will probably go 13, 14 minutes. I'm trying to find that happy medium. I'm hearing that between 15 and 20, 13 and 15, those numbers are popping up right now. But here's the deal. When I do this show now, you know I'm kind of working on my format. And that means that I'm trying to give you a very deep dive to the point that I can that day. I don't want to go into a second topic. And that's seemingly between 13 and 15 minutes where I seem to run out of words. Oh, yeah, I know. Hard to believe I could ever run out of words, right? I'm like a woman. I got extra words. I was born with them. No, I said it. Oh, man, I'm in trouble now. Yeah, okay, send me a note and complaint. I'll put it in the complaint department too, okay? So today I want to talk about the signal-to-noise ratios. Now, signal-to-noise is interesting, and this is something I've noticed pop up. The wording itself, signal-to-noise. I've heard it pop up more and more in the public communication lexicon, I guess. And because I'm a guy who spent a lot of time running my mouth and listening over the years, ever since I was a baby DJ at like 16 years old, I pay attention to words, right? I could be the guy that chose the word of the year. I can. I recognize words that are popping up before you ever do. So I began to hear signal to noise. And as a guy who was in radio and listened to AM radio for very much of my early life, AM radio, the signal was the voice that was clear and the noise was the static. Y'all youngins don't know what that means, do you? You don't know what that means. And the old ones say, I used to listen to 36 states at WLS. As a guy that does recording in studios, signal to noise, like right now I'm recording. And I can look at the meter on the screen, and the signal is my voice. And the noise would be the noise floor, would be the noise in the room. And if I don't get above the noise in the room, you can't hear me. So this is something I know about, but the average person's signal to noise, what's that? Well, it's really important these days. So it started in the 40s with that. I think Nate Silver wrote a book back in 2012 that mentioned it for the first time. About 2020, the pandemic hit, and suddenly it got really busy. Remember all that, how crazy it was back then? And everybody in California legally required, I think Gavin Newsom passed a law, and he said, you must be a life coach, and you must be a podcaster. He did that in 2020. Everybody listened. They went out and became a life coach and a podcaster. More noise, like 4 million podcasts, and eventually they all went away. But a lot of the noise stuck, didn't it? Is it social media? Sort of. Yeah, social media is kind of, there's noise there. Social media is a dangerous place to be. It's also a wonderful place to be, but there's noise there. You got to learn to filter it. Is it the news and the politics of the world? Yeah, certainly it is, but you can filter that too. It's not their fault. People just being people earning a living, people getting power, people running their mouth. It just happens, man. It's up to you to be able to separate this out. So a couple of years ago, I began to listen a lot and pay attention a lot to Dr. Benjamin Hardy and his, know your who stuff, and 10x is easier than 2x. And lately the science of scaling and time as a tool. And he began to use the word signal to noise a lot and filtering for the signal and getting rid of the noise. So I kind of picked up on that. I like him a lot because he also uses words like retrospection and perspective. I use those words in my daily awareness diary, my awareness assessment systems. We retrospectively look at what happened before today and prospectively create today and tomorrow. So we're kind of on the same page with that stuff, but signal to noise is really, really interesting to me because there's so much going on right now. I would guess right now to this day, in this very moment, you have a lot of noise running around in your head, just trying to figure out how to keep up and figure out what's going on. And like I said, I think earlier this week on some of the AI conversations we've had, is that, we have to figure out that line that we can go from here to there. And none of us know what it is right now. If I can figure out faster than you, I'll drag you along. But if you can figure it out first, you have to send me a note and tell me what to do. Deal? Signal to noise is amazing right now. So if we go to the world of, say, Steve Jobs when he was around, or Elon Musk even, kind of the patron saints of signal thinking is what they would call it. Remember the time when, I think it was around the late 90s, that Steve Jobs said, deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. That was just about the time he cut dozens of products from the Apple product line and went down to 4. And being a big Apple fan over the years, a fanboy, if you will, I was like, what are you doing? It's all good stuff. But now look at him. Look at what happened. Billions and billions of iPhones out there. It was ruthless. It's a ruthless focus. It really exemplified signal amplification. You get rid of everything that does not advance your core mission. Keep that in mind, business owners. I just had that conversation a few minutes ago. Get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. This is where we go. That's kind of what I do in my coaching, I think. Elon Musk, similar principle, SpaceX and Tesla, right? He's the one that says to his engineers, will this matter on Mars? Signal filtering. It's designed to strip away distractions. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. You know what he thought about Stephen Jobs? And in fact, even Elon Musk is the same thing. Being nice is noise. Being right is signal. That phrase is not advocating ruthlessness, but prioritizing truth over and mission over comfort and consensus.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are...
Gary the Snake.
And your last name?
The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at it.
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG.
I am very much known. In fact, you're hearing me do this more these days. Up until about a month ago, I was positive boost kind of guy. I was always in that world. I still am inherently optimistic guy. I really, truly am. But if you get to know me and if you're one of my personal clients, I will knock you down on a call. And I mean it only in the best way. I will stand firm in front of the strongest people and say, you're wrong. This is how we do it. And then we'll have a conversation. People don't like it, but I have to be so strong on my signal to even get their attention. You need to be that way as well. So sometimes if you hear me get a little bit kind of bold in what I'm doing, be bold, man. The only thing that's surviving these days with AI and everything that's coming, you have no idea what's coming, is being bold. Focus on a signal, being ruthless about it. So is AI going to amplify this? Yes, it is. And it's not going to be pretty. The noise is going to get worse. We call it AI slop. It's social media, it's articles. I mean, the cost of creating content is going down, down, down. So all these articles you're reading that all sound the same, all these videos you're seeing that all sound the same, the cost of content is going down. It will be zero before you know it. AI slop. When I was growing up, I used to go to Westgate Elementary School in Manassas, Virginia. That's where I grew up. And I went back to the school so many times. It seems so small now. It was so big back then. But if you're my age, you might remember the particular smell of what we call the mimeograph machine. For those of you who are not quite that old, that's the precursor to the Xerox machine. For those who are not, that's a copy machine, okay? So the mimeograph machine had a particular cell, had a smell, it had a kind of a drum on it, and it kind of have a stencil thing on it. And you go back there, and if you were a good kid in school, one of your things you got to do is go run the copies on the mimeograph machine. But if you use the stencil too many times, you couldn't see it anymore. And if the ink started to run out, you couldn't see it anymore. It got sloppy. Mimeograph slop. AI slop. Social media slop. News slop. Political slop. Everything. It's the world these days, guys. That's the noise you're up against. And you need to find the signal. One of the easiest ways to do that is when we start to focus in on what we do for personal development. And we can use this for business as well. It's the same thing. So let me give a couple of easy ways to do this, a couple of ways to really kind of set it. First off, understand that noise is going to be everywhere. That's all it is. It's just noise. And you got to somehow pull back from it and get yourself focused on what you're doing. A good part of my day, and when I'm doing my planning and my thinking, getting rid of the noise. And all the work I do with my clients, most of them are pretty good business people. And the number one thing they use me for is to separate the signal from the noise, to get between the lines and help them make a decision. And I can make distinctions they can't get. I'm not in their world. I can see it differently. You need to be that for yourself. So what do I do? First off, goal clarity. If you don't have a very strong goal that's so clear, you're just not going to get it. You're not going to reach it. 3 to 5 maybe. I will go so far as say 5 is too many. About 3 really clear goals. Be very precise on your signal. Noise equals distractions and other people's priorities. So if you're setting goals that you want to do something, I really suggest you have 1, 2, or 3 and just say, this is what I'm going to do. And you go after, you get so clear on it and just ignore everybody else. And by the way, the stronger it is for you, the stronger you understand it, the stronger you can see it, the more you will just dedicate yourself in that direction, the more people ask, what are you doing? And a year down the road, they'll say, how'd you get there? More important than ever. Now, by the way, let me address the elephant in the room. Those of you who think goals are stupid, I'm going to question your intelligence. I am. Goals are built into you. The proof is here. You got to use them right. So if you're not using goals properly, learn to use them. If you're not getting one you want, start using goals. If there's too much noise and you're crazy in the world, don't shut everything down. Who cares? You can't shut things down. Set a goal. Let me give you some other insight here. About a month ago, when I started making changes to this format, and if you heard the shows a month ago, the 27-minute show and things like that, you heard me for a period of probably about 10 days, changing formats, changing music, changing lots of things. Here's what I was doing. I actually did not know what I wanted. I had no clear idea about what the next level was. Couldn't figure it out. So what I did was I said, well, okay, let's get rid of stuff we don't like. I didn't even know what that was. So I said, well, let's just, whatever's on my mind, let's go do it and see what happens. Well, I don't like that. Let's get rid of it. Boom. And in about 10 days, I started to dial in. And what I did was, at this show right now, you're seeing this right now, just to show you how we can clear out the noise and get to the signal. Here's what happened. I was actually doing the Daily Boost podcast, and I was sitting down as a dedicated activity to write a podcast for you 5 days a week. For some people, they loved it, but I can tell you, it had become noise. There's too much TikTok. There's too much everything else they're completing with standard everyday motivation. It wasn't working anymore, and I'm not going to be a noise guy. I looked at the writing on the wall. I said, okay, we've got to change this. So what did that mean? Well, it meant was, I don't know. But just being honest, right? But what I understood with this, as soon as I began to make that distinction, I recognized that my uniqueness, how I deliver things, I'd been questioning that. I had questioned the algorithm. Everybody told me what I was doing wrong. I said, well, you know what? I'm too old to pay attention to you. I'm going to do it my way. And if you like it, great. We're just going to do it like this, and we'll dig in. We'll see what the hell happens, okay? And the other thing was this. When I was producing the Daily Boost, I would sit down in dedicated time and pre-produce it. I would sit down and make it a dedicated activity, and it had nothing to do with my day-to-day life. Nothing. Literally 99% of my time was spent in other conversations, paying attention to other things. And the Daily Boost had become this thing I put out there. And I loved doing it for the motivational, inspirational aspect of it, but it wasn't serving me and it wasn't serving you. So I had to shake it off. So what I decided to do was, well, go figure it out, get rid of stuff I don't like, and figure out what I do like. And ultimately what you're hearing now is the evolution of me bringing you the conversations I have all day, every day to this show. And I hope it's serving you even better. I got clear on signal. I'm getting rid of the noise. And trust me, more noise is going away soon. And probably a lot of people too as well. But the people who stick around, I'm going to love you more. So goal clarity. 3, that's about it. You need a signal to noise ratio. How do you get that? You want a number? Mathy person? Easy. Clarity of vision divided by the amount of cognitive distraction. The clarity of your vision divided by what's distracting you. My guess is right now you're 80% distracted. How do I know that? I used to be that way. I can get that way tomorrow too. And all my clients are that way. Clarity of vision divided by cognitive distraction. You need some focus protection as well, identifying the noise sources. What is that? Is it notifications? Is it multitasking? Is it meetings without direction? What is it? Versus signal sources, strategic thinking, deep work, boundaries, things like that. Have you ever thought about what are the sources of the noise in your life and what are the sources of the signal in your life? There's somebody out there right now, Scott's babbling on too much. He's distraction. He's distortion in my life. He's the noise in my life. Yeah, but I got you 14 minutes in and you're learning something too, aren't you? So really, truly, separate Scott from the good stuff, all right? No, you can't do that. It's impossible because it's who I am. And I'm going to die this way. I am going to do it. I promise you. I'm not going to die right now. Wouldn't that be cool? It's like, well, guys, wait a second. Blah, 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 blah. And then I go silent and you never know what happens. That could happen. Never know when you get older. Finally, decision filtering. So we did goal clarity, cognitive load management, basically your signal to noise ratio, focus protection, and decision filtering. Before any commitment, ask, is this signal or is this noise? Is it relative to your core values and goals? Okay, I missed the mark. I arrived at almost 15 minutes again, so maybe we're naturally finding where Scott likes to live. Yes, I could make it shorter and more efficient, but that would be no fun for me. And ultimately, that would remove so much frustration from your life. I'm just going to leave it there because I call it life extension therapy. I say, Scott, just get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. And then I do, and you're like, see, I'm keeping you listening and keeping you alive. It's good for you.